How you will?
Open this meeting of July 2nd, 2015. Let the record show that Selectman Fogg and Selectman Scanlon are on their way. We're going to go ahead with the meeting because we have a huge agenda. So we'll go right into, we can do the acceptance of the donations. The approval of minutes, they probably wouldn't want to see, don't you think? No? Let me see, it's just a short one. Oh, no, it's very long. I'll make a motion to accept the donations from Walmart for $2,000, specifically for the bike patrol unit at the PD.
Second.
And from, no, we'll
Okay.
include them all. And from Tanger Outlets, $1,000, specifically for the bike patrol unit at the police department.
Second.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
With thanks.
Lots of thanks. All right, make a motion to take the minutes of the 25th forward for discussion. All those in favor?
Yes.
Aye.
John Scanlon did send a notepad. I don't know if you got it on your email. The bike unit. He wanted to add, Selectman Scanlon suggested requiring eyewear. And he believes that Chris had said it's on the list of equipment. It would be supplied by the rider.
You put down, Chris explained there was no requirement for eyewear.
Correct.
John wants to make it a requirement.
What does he want to put in?
On the page 1, the first paragraph, PD bicycle unit, about the middle, Chris, Chief and Chris, why the rider would, Selectman Scanlon suggested adding language on page 2 under objectives to include ability to patrol areas not easily. Well,
We gotta,
you jumped over there because he wants it put in here that he asked
it'd be required for eyewear.
that it be required for them to wear eyewear even though that the officer has to pay for it.
We didn't vote on that. We didn't.
Right, we
Well,
didn't.
he mentioned it, and so he wants it in the minutes that he mentioned it, I think.
It's one thing to put in there that he suggested it or he questioned it.
He sent the board an email this afternoon, John Scanlon did.
I don't have it here.
Neither do I.
Do you think maybe he,
Oh, I found it. 324. That was late.
hold on a minute, I don't have it.
Yes, he says, I suggested requiring protective eyewear. And I believe Chris said it's on the list of equipment, but is supplied by the rider. He didn't say that.
But there was no requirement for eyewear is what it's in here.
Yep.
Yeah, Chris
I
didn't say
I
that.
still don't have it.
In the policy?
No, in my emails.
He sent it Board of Selectmen.
Yeah, I've got it. I actually had it open that night.
At 324?
John, I'm looking for John's email that,
Open up an email that says 324.
actually, I'm not getting any emails. Is Tim still here?
So in between where it says through a department-wide email and before Chris explained there was no requirement for email, we can just put Selectman Scanlon suggested requiring protective eyewear.
Correct.
And I think we did add the part about, under objectives, to include ability to patrol areas not easily accessible by other means. And what this says is he suggested it, doesn't say that we adopted it.
No, when he suggested it, Chris pointed out that his list included the parks.
That's right. It was already covered and we were okay.
It was on like the next page.
I know it was okay, yeah.
Yeah, and the policy.
But we didn't vote on the eyewear, and it doesn't say that eyewear thing is just out there in this.
Yeah, so if we just put
Yeah,
Scanlon
Something
suggested
about, yeah,
requiring protective
suggested.
eyewear,
Yes, the others have it.
I think he's covered. God, I hate it when those things go by. Somebody's in trouble.
when you said that the police department in Meredith, during our discussion about towns of comparable size and what have you, that the budget for police was pretty much identical, even though they had more people up there. How many calls for service?
I don't know.
Because that would be an interesting thing to see how the calls for service matched up.
Meredith is a police budget that is comparable to ours.
Yep.
They have a $1,972,000 budget.
Yep.
We have a $1,924,000. They have 6,276 people.
And we've got
And we have
700-ish.
36.
Yeah.
06. I
I'm
don't,
curious what kind of calls for service they have up there.
the reason I don't put calls to service in, and I've asked for years, to have them eliminate the, lockouts, the cats in the tree and whatnot.
They get caught. And I was just wondering
Okay,
what,
but most departments don't unlock people's cars. It's not comparable. There's things that
they
we
shouldn't
do.
have been doing that for 6 months now. We talked about that. No more unlocking the cars, we said.
Really?
Unless there was a child inside or...
We did say that?
I remember we told them
I
no,
don't remember that.
not to just go and unlock cars anymore.
I don't remember that.
I'm pretty sure.
We better look it up, because I don't think I think they're still doing it.
Maybe I tried to get us to do that and we didn't.
Yeah. We do get letters from people who are so grateful that we don't
And I'm
lock their
sure,
cars.
but even so, we're not AAA.
It's a cost for service each time we go out.
You know it is.
But if they're out and they pass by somebody,
Then they do whatever they do then.
right. But as a call, I don't really necessarily agree with that.
If it ties up a cruiser and an officer, it's a call. If we don't want them performing those kind of calls, then we shouldn't allow them to do so, I think. Heaven forbid they should break one of those doors. Now we gotta repair doors of cars and whatnot. I don't recall it ever happening yet, but who knows? Do you ever mark out a handicap space in Lot C that you know of?
You did?
That was my question.
Did the highway do that? Did they put a handicap in Lot C?
No, in fact, I talked to Dennis again about that this morning. They haven't ordered it because they feel that it would impede their ability to plow, and he still is recommending creating the space up against the back wall.
So this is the third week in a row
Right.
that we've asked them for it, and the third week in a row, he's refused to order it.
Well, that he hasn't ordered it.
Well, he hasn't ordered it, and we've asked him 3 weeks in a row. You can surmise what you want to surmise from it, Joe, but
Well, it's
there's a little bit more there.
The Board of Selectmen is what, we've discussed this at least 3 times,
Yep, at least.
made a decision.
And although I understand the Public Works concerns, we've decided there's going to be one there.
That's right.
Can we send Public Works a letter that spells out in no uncertain terms you will install a handicap parking space in Lot C.
I think that's a good idea.
They've got a thing on the place on this end, they could do it, and like I think a place they said on the other end, they could do it. And is it inconvenient? Yep. But this isn't about them, this is about handicap parking. And we've already said, so,
And so here's my next question.
yeah.
And I was confused a few weeks ago. Isn't Arthur still acting director?
He is.
So why is Dennis
Well,
interfering in that decision? Why is that coming from Dennis?
Arthur concurred with that. Arthur concurred with that. In fact, Arthur had given a sketch.
So then they're both at fault, is what you're telling me, for not following selectmen's
Arthur's in
directives.
charge down there. So whatever happens, Arthur's in charge.
He is on vacation the next week,
Outstanding.
Who is?
Arthur, as of today. So he won't be at next Thursday's meeting either.
Yuck, yuck, yuck.
Well, let's send, I think, a letter, a very strongly worded letter, yeah.
Like Joyce, with no room for error
Yeah.
or misconstruing. Pardon?
Sorry. We can do it as a directive.
The directive is to put in the damn handicap parking space like we had said.
Yes.
You don't have to use the word damn.
Yeah, and then they just have to work around it.
That's right. There's a reason that they can't do it. Can't do it. They should come in and talk to us, but other than that, just do it.
We've spoken with them 3 weeks in a row, and not one of them have said to us that they're not happy with that at all, and why they're not happy with it. So why should it go,
Well, no, when each time I follow up with Dennis, because I gave him the information, he told me that, no, it's.
Hi, Peter.
It won't work.
well, it's not, that it's not really up to you to go into via you to us. It should go directly to us.
Yeah, at that point it should, seeing as we told them to do it.
On page 3 of this is that conversation about the handicap parking space in Lot C, and it doesn't indicate that we once again said, put in a handicap parking space in Lot C.
Where are you looking at?
Page 3 at the very, very bottom.
I think that you should listen to the tape and not play around with the words when we're emphatic about this kinds of situations.
Joyce's report.
This is,
I sat down with him that next day, that next morning, when Arthur was there, showed him the diagram, and said, this is what the board wants.
we talked about this in length during your report. This report here in the minutes suggests that the board hasn't made up their mind yet. There's a little wiggle room here. We were very emphatic about having a handicap parking space in Park C, period.
Right, and you were there when Gail and I spoke with Arthur when he came in the next morning, and we had a diagram. We showed him where it was going to be
I was not here.
We met with him Friday morning.
But regardless, it was a Board of Selectmen decision. It wasn't up to either the acting director or the director to second-guess the selectmen a second or third time. We said, we already heard that they said it might impede plowing. We got the information. We got it last week, and we said, in spite of that, put in a handicap space.
Right.
They should no longer have questioned it.
Well,
They don't want to put it in a parking
Monday,
space.
we told them, we showed them the diagram. In fact, Arthur even said we should have the second spot on the other side be the handicap spot, so the door can open on the other way, and he was all set to go. And then today, when I was saying, Dennis, I said, so Dennis, what's with the parking lot? He says, no, it just isn't going to work.
It's not a decision for him to make.
Thank you.
It's not his decision to make, I'm sorry. Particularly when if he had a question, he could have come in and spoken with us directly. And for 3 weeks in a row, he's not done that. And we've been, every time you've come in, we've explained to you, and we've been insistent on having a handicap parking space there and marked. End of discussion. Let's just move on from there. But we need the minutes to be reflective of that and not wishy-washy.
So please listen to the tape and make sure it isn't wishy-washy.
Exactly.
Say that.
You're smelling pretty good.
That's covering the fact that I didn't make it to the shower in time.
Ah, love it.
Cutting it close.
So I would like to make a motion to accept the minutes of June 25th, 2015 as corrected as amended.
I'll second that. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Yes?
Aye.
Sure.
All right. So we've done acceptance of minutes, the donations. The 5 o'clock appointment does want a non-public session with us. So Joyce,
Beach?
the figures that we have here, want to pass that down, the letter, so Peter can sign, just in case John's not here in time. At least get 4 signatures. Yes.
Use a copy for each board member. Oh, did I give you a copy? Did I give you a copy so that, to give to them? I want them in there. Are they in there? In case you have them.
Yeah, did we all see that?
Yes. Yes, indeed. I remember me laughing earlier.
Yeah.
That's when I got down to the bottom.
So I don't lose it.
Where did it go?
How's the Joe Jessamine look?
No, you're not his wife, but you're doing okay. Each. Have you been there? You should go, Bob.
Joyce,
And
The one, I think that's what's worse.
are these,
You can see through the,
these are the original copies? Do they go with the person? This whole package goes with? Okay. All right, do you have something for 10 minutes? So we can move along? Or does this,
you've got the paper.
do you want something for 10 minutes, or,
I'm ready to do stuff.
All the
yeah, for 10 minutes till they come? Then we can break and come back?
interest or whatever adds up to that. And then there is a penalty calculation.
I think we got another conversation going on here.
Percentage of this.
of the value, okay.
This,
It's the assessed
Adds
value.
up to that amount, which adds up to that amount.
this is the
Wow.
Noyes Road property.
Or a beach.
Okay.
But they'll be in it
I
fine.
haven't been down to look at it. I think it's a camp.
Yes,
It is a camp?
Yes, it is.
and I'm not positive if they ever tied into sewer.
Sardi?
Sardi.
No.
No, this is
No.
one Noyes
I
Road.
don't-
This is Noyes Road.
This is
Oh.
Noyes Road.
Total different property.
Okay.
And these are the notice letters to get in and talk to the selectmen, and they'll get the same attachments as they are, saying that this is their one last chance to talk with the board. Then we're going to start the process to auction it.
If you keep it on mail, it should show you
So is Noyes Road coming in?
filtering for.
No, this is their official notification letter that we now have the deed sending them
Yep.
a copy of the deed.
We changed the locks.
Thanks.
No, have not done anything yet.
Thanks, Tim, I appreciate it. So,
Mind you have lovely handwriting.
Catholic school.
I was just going to say that.
Simmerton Central. This is Corliss.
This is the High Street property, which is a basement lot, and this is a bank.
I love banks.
All right, I'm gonna write on this.
Do you remember the reverse mortgage?
Yep.
I love that. Just love that.
Is that what this is?
Oh, no, no, no. That
I'm going
was
to
from
put these
before
back
and,
here.
In the deed research that Cindy had done, there were 2 addresses for the Noyes Road property, so that's why we're sending 2 letters, 1 to each.
So High Street,
High Street is U79-1.
and this is Noise. Okay. Noise, High Street is that much?
I'm sorry.
All 3?
Yeah, High Street is U79-1. Noyes is R21-44.
Okay.
Yeah, that's much higher than the...
Well, in the original 3,000.
Isn't Walter Sarti demised?
Yes, he is.
So why would this still be in the name of someone who no longer exists in this world?
Haven't changed over the deed.
Nothing's come in.
What do you want, a state of?
Yeah. Usually there's a trustee, and somebody passes. isn't
John is
there?
not here to sign these.
He's coming in later, right?
Yes.
Because you can't send a notice to someone who's living in an ethereal plane, theoretically.
Because they're nowhere and everywhere all at the same time.
So don't you send it to the last known location?
And it collects on the
Or-
dirt step.
yeah.
I mean, on the, I just find it odd.
Well, if the personal representative didn't do a change of address to divert the mail, sure.
And are we covered, since we know we're sending mail addressed to somebody who is deceased?
Whose responsibility is it to get the mail?
The owners, and this is
Yeah.
3 years in a
I don't
row.
know.
Yeah.
Passed
yeah.
away 3 years ago, and
Yeah.
it's been to her attention 3 years ago.
Tax
that-
laws are weird.
Right.
We've sent it to the address of record. We've done everything legally, just the way we can. If I knew the woman's number or the daughter or the estate's number, I'd call them. I'm not trying to mess with anybody,
Right.
but what more are you gonna do?
No, the PR should
Pass
have.
this to John so he can sign.
Oh, Patrick, you're here.
If you, hi,
A couple of years ago.
good, that's right. All right, if you just sit there for a second, we'll be right with you.
I believe that's your paper.
All right,
And then there's those other 2 that
You need to sign this ASAP.
that we need to make a decision on.
Aye.
He just voted.
Aye.
Okay, we haven't heard anything, right? All right.
sit down.
At this time, I'd like to make a motion to go into non-public
Yeah.
per RSA 91A:3, for that which would adversely affect the reputation.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yep. Second.
Second.
Second by Peter. Roll call vote, please.
Yes.
Yes.
47, 57. And we're at 5:27. I would like to make a motion to seal the minutes of the non-public session as may tend to affect the reputation
Until the
of
matters
an
are resolved.
individual and for permanently.
No, until the matters are resolved.
Or until the matter is resolved.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Change his name to vacation.
I don't know what that was about.
So we just call him off.
All right,
vacation
somebody
now?
get,
Terry
next
and-
appointment.
Terry and Tricia, the TNT show.
Okay.
Terry
P&P.
Nielsen and Tricia Lane.
No, for you, Patricia. Patricia Lane is over off of Dunlop, isn't it, or Lancaster Hill, something.
What?
Where is Patricia Lane
That's
located?
Patricia Drive,
Oh,
Yeah, it's up that
Patricia
way.
Ann Drive.
it's up past
Yeah.
the Veterans Home.
So
That's my
it's
first
some-
name is Patricia Ann.
Off Lancaster Hill.
Sprague. God, that was hurting.
Just now I'm confused. We got 2 officer vacations.
Oh, my goodness. I'm guessing he was on vacation and couldn't sign.
Well, then I think you should wait till next year for an increase.
Oh, my God.
There it is.
Have Kim pull it. I'll do it, I'll snap it back.
I know, that's what she said. Thank you.
Come on in.
Hello.
How are you?
Hi.
Come on up. Do you know everyone?
Heavy.
Think so.
Yeah, but...
Yeah.
John
Hi,
Scanlon?
sweetie.
Hi, darling. Oh, I know. Hi.
Peter?
I'm Joe Jessman.
Yeah, then
Tricia Lane.
Patricia
You know
Lane.
me? You know me?
carry me up.
Nice to meet you. You're the other Nielsen.
Yeah.
Okay.
The good spelling.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that made a difference, but
Good Lord.
Catherine?
apparently that's not true then.
Just ask
John Scanlon?
Paul and
Doc.
Okay.
No, no.
You have questions for us? Hmm? Yeah,
Help yourself.
it's a long night.
Every piece you eat, I don't have to.
9, probably.
By now. Okay, you have questions for us?
Okay, so our questions will have to deal with, so the town transferred deeds on that piece of property that's part of the association, and she's in there now, and we want to know what the process is and what her legal right is to be there, since it is a private association. She does not own it. Honestly, we don't want her there. I mean, first thing she did last night was walk in and light a fire in like an open thing in her living room. You know, oh yeah. That's what,
Whoa, in our house.
In our house.
yeah, in the house that Tilton built. No.
That
we own.
We
That
didn't
is,
build it.
You know, I think I've talked to several people over the years. It's been a nuisance case for us, for the fire department to come down repeatedly for the fires outside, drinking and driving on the road. It's just it's a nuisance. She's a liability. She's never paid us, ever. We know she's never paid you. I know only banks have paid us and the town. So, I mean, we have great concerns about it. And so I guess the process.
Well, the process is that she has a certain amount of time to recover the property, and if she so does that within that time frame, we deed the property back to her. If she does not, then we set the process in motion for auction, as we do every piece that we deed, and then it's turned over. However, the doors will be locked tonight, and we own the property.
We're changing the locks this evening, and she's already been told that she's to vacate the premises.
Yes,
I didn't say it. I thought it out loud, I guess. In any case, we're going to put new locks on the doors this evening.
Well, that's,
and then I know, because we've talked, but the 90 days,
Well, it's different.
whatever, I don't know.
They have a certain amount of days to recover the property, and then we send an auction letter out to them. And then after the auction letter, they have a certain amount of days to recover the property again, within that 90 days. I believe it's 15 days. And within that 90 days, if they don't, we continue the process of auctioning the property off.
To be paid in full? Does it have to be paid in full?
When we deed, not just this property, when we deed a property, it's, in order for anyone to recover the property, they have to pay all back taxes and a penalty. The penalty is 15% of the assessed value of the property.
So I know that was 291. I follow it closely on the website.
So, you know,
Should I ask a question? And you might even know, but I don't believe she's hooked up to sewage. Is she, Mr. Fogg?
We don't believe so.
And the Nielsen property
That is definitely
Properties.
not.
was not deceased, he's
Right.
down deceased.
We just heard.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Properties, right?
a few weeks ago.
So, and
The
they're both
daughter's
on-
going to be taking
They're
care of
both on the
that.
waterfront. The ones that don't have sewage,
Well, Nielsen owed two.
he does.
One on the water, one behind, the white one.
And Terry's sandwiched between the two.
I know.
No, we're really got a nice little corner going there.
But that's good to know. That's good. That's really good to know.
Especially since her pipe was all broken under there last year, anyway. For
Her,
Toilet fixtures.
sewer, yeah.
Where was it broken?
They're frozen
Yeah,
away.
so it was broken for months.
Oh,
Is it
when you were
fixed
in
now?
Florida?
We believe so.
Not
I
mine,
mean,
Patty's.
no,
by themselves, or was there actually,
no, we think somebody, a friend came in and did something.
But she did call.
we're gonna have it checked out
I'll
Monday.
check it out.
I don't know
Monday.
what happened there.
I'll crawl under.
So, I guess that's...
Yeah, that's,
When you do locks like that, and the town has taken it, so, like, I don't trust her, nobody trusts her, so like, if we do have to call the police, do they know? So we can say this has been taken?
oh, they
The
go.
chief will be here shortly, and we'll be
Okay.
discussing it with him.
We meet with the chief every Thursday night, so he'll be aware of the situation. He'll let his officers know the situation.
She
And
very
he,
well could just get right
And
in
any
the car
property
and
that we-
go as well.
any property that we deed, we always have them ride by often. So don't do anything wrong. Don't do anything wrong in the next few months, because they'll be riding by.
She's talking to you.
Yeah.
No, we just want somebody
me.
down.
Late
that's-
at night, they'll be going by, no midnight skinny dipping or anything out there.
Oh,
No
that,
wonder you're talking to her.
oh boy. Oh, so then, all communication would still, I mean, I got the notices that
We are the owners. Yep. We are.
if this progresses
I'm really
and goes,
happy. I really
then
am.
we'll get notified.
Almost done 2-4.
I brought a copy.
So she still has an opportunity to buy back.
Oh, I'd love to
Yes,
see that.
yes, yes, yes.
There's a couple of
She's going to, but
amendments. It's not the most current version. It says in this one that our dues are $50 a year, but there is an amendment, it's $500 a year.
Finally.
how much does she currently owe? Does that
This year,
property,
because last year when she sold, we made that a condition of, right at first
The
refusal.
cabin on the top, that was
Okay.
sold?
She said we had to, yes.
Okay, I didn't know
Got
that.
money last year, and instead of paying her taxes, she went out and bought 2 brand-new Dodge Chargers.
70,000 in her hand.
Good for her.
so
15%.
currently her due, when are the dues due?
It's passed. We
May
already have a
30th.
lien.
That's our annual
Okay,
meeting.
so it's $500?
Yeah.
We put a lien on already.
to lean on that. And
Because we
got our
usually
money
wait
back from the
years.
bank on the
Yeah.
other one, thank God, with
There's a couple of
$7,000.
updates, but they're kind of funny.
Yeah, she drives you crazy.
But so the,
Or crazier, I should say.
you know, it's like lose your mind.
Thank God it's only 30 cottages, because if more than that, I'd have to sell. Actually, we're having a big party for our 45th year.
Oh, nice.
So how many years is this?
Actually, yeah.
Just this year?
We all invited? Sure. Okay.
Well, we're part of the association.
Yeah,
Oh, my God.
Paid our dues.
That's right.
Beach!
We haven't paid our dues, Catherine.
Joe.
I want to knock it down and just put a town beach there, what do you think?
Her, you'll get a notice.
What?
Right.
Hurts.
It would?
I'd have a heart attack.
Come on.
Beside her house.
Well, her taxes would go up then, because she'd have a view, right?
Right,
Oh, yeah.
a view
Oh,
tax,
gosh.
yeah.
My goodness.
I thought you liked me.
And like I said, there's a couple of new things that
Well, thank you for all your help and answers.
All set?
We still have 2 minutes, right? I just have to make sure I have everything, so, because when I will report, we'll give the report to the board of directors.
Oh, that's heavy.
No,
Well, you just say we're considering, if we own it, we're considering tearing it down and making a public beach.
For the employees of the town.
For the
Well, no,
employees.
for the residents of
well,
the town.
then the dues will go up. No, what was I gonna say?
The other
No
town-
skinny dipping, we'll make sure of that.
And once again.
Well, so you do know,
It's a new beach?
there's 2 doors.
She's in panic mode now.
I really am.
Blah, blah, blah.
The slider facing the water, there's no lock there. There's a board that goes across, so
I don't know how you're gonna
everything's
lock
old.
it.
I don't even know how you would even, it's all waterlogged and,
Well, I'm going down later. You'll probably see us down there looking at it to see what it looks like.
For the weekend.
Where I am.
And
know
I
where
just
you are.
cruised through the other day, but I didn't get out and walk around, so I'll probably be getting out to walk
They've
around.
done that all week.
walk, right, and the police will know. So
Yep.
call.
It should be
Been there.
easy
You have my
enough. If
number.
the back door doesn't lock, I'll go in the back door,
down.
jam something in the door so you can't open it and walk out the front
She
door.
has
'cause-
like a 2x4 that, it's the same.
Well, then it'll work, yeah. If it's not in place, it will be.
And then there's a slider on the front, and then another little door. I don't think this little door, it swings open all winter.
Director of Public Works is going up there to take care of it, or he's having it taken care
Never
of even
been,
as
no.
we speak.
Down there.
So there's
So it must be a
other
nice
side.
place to get away from,
I
relax.
think I told you she had somebody in there.
Not anymore.
Damn.
She did.
No, she called her and
You don't
said,
even
get out,
belong there,
I'm
but it's
coming down.
I've been there since 1970.
All right.
All set?
Think of anything.
So that means to take over.
Well, if
Other
you see
questions?
anybody in the house, they're not supposed to be there,
No
so.
one's supposed to be there.
No,
Call the
no,
police.
Call the police. Somebody's robbing our house,
Yeah, thanks.
unless it's like one of us.
Good to see you.
Too,
Good to see you.
honey. You
Good
too.
to see you.
Thank you very much.
You got my number?
Pleased to make your acquaintance. Thank you very much, Ms. Nielsen.
You'll see me
Good
down there
Nielsen.
checking out that Nielsen house, or I mean Sardi's house.
Both of them.
Well, we've already been working on making everybody hook into
So can we require that,
I'm feeling much better, thank you.
the sewer?
Thank you, everyone.
If this house isn't on sewer, can we
Yep, you too.
get sewer to that house?
The
somehow?
commissioners have already voted to go through that process. Johanna and I have been working on the
Okay.
processes to get us there.
Good enough.
I think we're pretty close.
All right, moving right along.
Especially if it's broken.
We have 20 minutes,
different
Joyce. You want to fill in that 20 minutes
That's a
there
different
and
story.
keep
Then
moving?
Then they're dealing with me.
Then they do it. No
You go, girl.
permit type thing unless it's fixed.
Well, yeah, then they're dealing with me. That's different. Can't have a different sewer.
Okay, in the to-be-signed folder are the personal action report forms for those employees that the board has already made a decision on,
And contractual.
and contractual, right, those are in there. I still haven't received the assessing agreement back. I was going to call,
He's coming in at 6.
oh, he's coming in at 6 tonight? Mm-hmm. Okay, tax deeding, we did. The other two properties that are on hold right now, we were going to go look at them. Do you want to go up sometime next week? go take a look?
I've looked at them.
Oh, you have?
Oh, yeah, I
As have
know, I know
Okay.
those properties.
You're talking
Okay.
about 3 and 4.
3 and 4.
The ones we didn't
Let me
take.
see 3 and 4. I don't have my paper with me.
Dusty and Windsor.
Yes and yes. Yes, I would recommend highly number 3. I would not recommend number 4, however.
But we discussed.
Small
small
claims.
claims.
Yes, absolutely. I'd highly recommend that. Go
So rather
forward.
than taking either of them, I think we should go the small claims route.
Yep,
Just
I
my
do too.
personal opinion.
It's been beneficial in the past for us to do that.
I would be willing to do that as if that does not pan out, we do not receive the money, we then take it and bulldoze it down or whatever we gotta do.
It's not a quick fix.
I know. But if we don't get our money, we at least could get maybe a property on there that is going to be a taxpayer. I feel like it's my responsibility to try to get that taken care of. Because to just leave that thing there is not going to solve anything.
I think it's a good example for everybody else that might think of, might be a little bit of a loss, but stops the bleeding and
Right.
lets everybody else know that in business, if you
When
owe
Cat-
taxes, we
right.
have to collect them.
When Catherine and Cindy went forward with a group of them a couple of years ago, that set in motion White Rock and Gaslight.
Made a huge difference.
Huge difference. We don't see very many of them on the list.
And we take
So can we
the
ask the
other
town
ones
clerk
and people know.
to go forward with those two?
Yes, I say yes.
Is
Yes.
possible?
Yep.
Let's make that in the form of a motion.
Well, asking her? Asking her?
We
Oh,
only
I
can
thought we
ask.
were going to proceed to take them.
We can't, no.
We have to ask the town clerk to proceed to take them.
Okay, all
Not
right,
to
okay.
take them, to take them to small claims court, not
No,
to take deeds.
no. And if we have no luck in small claims?
We'll go forward
We
from
can go
there.
forward deeding them. We'll do something different.
Okay, I'll make a motion to go forward with the small claims court on those two properties.
To ask the town
To
clerk.
ask the town clerk to
Making a
do it.
motion to ask the town clerk to
Yep.
do something.
Yep,
That's
Yeah.
a matter of record.
I want it on the record, that's all.
Second,
I'm consistent, this is consistent ever
Motion's
since I've
been
sat
made and
here.
second for the sake of
Yes.
discussion. Are we, I didn't hear any, if that doesn't work out, we're going to deed the property, and that's, I think, what you wanted.
Yes,
well, I think, why don't we see what happens with the small claims court? And because other options, once we do that, the owners of the park may come and offer us some interesting alternatives to deeding as well. Let's not commit to deeding until we have,
okay, as long as we're
Actually,
gonna, as long as
you know-
we're really gonna do something, if this doesn't pan out, we're gonna move forward on trying to take care
Have
of what
we-
we need to take care of.
contacted the park owners.
Probably not yet.
No, I have not.
So that's something we should do as well.
So let's start,
So
yes,
would you
okay.
like me to contact the park owners?
That would be great.
Yeah.
Let them know that where we're at, that we could take them. We're opting to take them to small claims. If that doesn't work, we will be taking them. Maybe they'd be interested in a similar deal that we worked with White Rock.
Yeah. So I'll call the question,
All those in favor of the motion?
yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes?
Okay, next.
Okay, on Ernie, still nothing since last week, but I did give you copies of the pre-construction report that Catherine Dawson and I had attended. That's in your folders, and I sent it to the Conservation Commission. I still haven't done those disposition of abatement letters. DOT, I left a voicemail message and emailed Bill Lambert about the Deer Street crosswalk and the fact that it's not a mid-block crosswalk, and he has not gotten back to me yet. I'm just trying to keep a running tab here on the policies from the police department, and I understand after reading the minutes last week that you did adopt the bicycle policy.
That's correct.
All right, so that's official. So now that's part of their standard operating procedures, okay? So-
Deer Street, he's going to say it's a mid-block crosswalk because it's not at a four-way intersection. It's at the intersection of the municipal cemetery, but because it's not a road, I bet you he's going to say it's mid-block.
Because it's not at a four-way.
I think, I don't know, I was looking at it today trying to figure out why that's mid-block.
That's a good point.
Well, if those are the rules, we'll have to reassess.
Okay.
We can rewrite the rules.
So the body camera policy, so that is,
Needs adoption.
needs adoption, okay, and the other position needs discussion,
And that, he's bringing that in tonight. We told
Okay.
him this week we
okay.
needed a full board.
And then when the chief is here, if time permitting, just a real brief non-public that I can talk with him about an employee status. That's non-public.
That's fine, but I'm here to tell you there's no such thing as a brief non-public with PD. Just, I'm fine with the non-public, but please don't put the word brief in there.
Well, it's something that needs to be brought to the board's attention.
Okay.
While the chief is here.
It's like you're teasing us, Joyce. Oh, yeah, this will just be brief.
Okay. Highway Department. Okay, I will speak again with Dennis that to go back with the plan that we gave Arthur last Friday morning. He wanted me to let the board know that the speed bumps and signs have been ordered and that he and Arthur have recommended the locations on Daniel Drive. They've marked them out.
Where did they mark them out?
They want you to go see.
They're on the pavement?
Yeah, they're marked on the pavement.
Okay.
Road trip.
Also, the no parking signs from midnight to 5 for Main Street, 14 have been ordered.
Good.
And he's going
2 out
to
of 3.
extend them up to include the spaces on the west end that we're maintaining in the winter. Because our downtown runs from track to track, but we still have those
5 or
two
7 or whatever.
spaces.
Yep.
Okay, legislative wrap-up. I had a webinar on Wednesday, and as you know, the governor vetoed the budget. So we probably won't see something again until October, probably, so things just stay as they are. But it did go to, the committee of conference had concurred with the Senate's recommendation on the funding levels for aid to municipalities. So we don't see that changing. I haven't checked yet to see, I know that in the, last time I spoke to Senator Forrester's office, that the request for the state aid highway reconstruction was in the budget, in the line item, so, but I will double check to make sure. The only other thing that's interesting, and this will make Chuck Mitchell happy, is that the law had been passed that moderators were going to have to take pictures of voters. So they amended the law to require that the Secretary of State's office was going to provide the cameras and the equipment to all the town clerks to do this. Well, the funding for that, for those cameras, is in House Bill 2, which is the budget bill, and there was no money appropriated for it. So there's a law in the books that can't be enforced because there's no money to do it.
Go figure.
Seen that before.
And other than that, everything is just, oh, and there's a couple things to the right-to-know law. Most municipalities, when they seal their minutes of non-public sessions, such as this board, you make that motion in public. But the law doesn't require that. Now, as of January 1st of 2016, the law will require that. So, no changes to retirement, other than the new employer rates went into effect July 1st.
Is that all that came out of that right to know? There was a whole bunch of stuff that they wanted to change.
I think they all died.
Very nice.
Another one that, a lot of the things that the municipal association put in died.
Belisars.
But I gave you all copies of these
Thank you.
book. And, yeah, that eliminates the requirement that the moderator take a photograph of a voter who votes without identification. And it's been killed because of the Secretary of State's office will do it. There's one in here about lead poisoning, reducing the incidence of lead poisoning. State law passed prohibits the sale or possession of synthetic drugs for spice.
Really, good for
Yeah.
them.
So it's
They
a
finally caught up to Tilton,
whole
right?
state.
And there's, remember when we were contacted to provide information on our Pay-As-You-Throw program? Well, that's going to be a webinar on Thursday, July 9th. I believe it starts at noon, but I'll send you the information. You may want to plug into that, because they'll be talking about Tilton. And that's about it for
Can
our
I-
legislature.
Can I bring up something real quick? The wheelchair lift. He fixed the lock upstairs. He did not know why it was not working.
Yes, that's what he said. He
I think we need to
remembers.
find somebody else that's going to come and fix our lift if he doesn't know, if it wasn't working when he got here and he fixed it, what did he fix? I don't get it.
It had to do with the contacts.
Didn't that happen before, Catherine?
Yeah.
It's
Oh, same
happened
thing.
several
Yeah,
times.
the contacts,
Bent it back or something?
the
Yeah.
contacts get
arcing.
hit, and then they don't quite make the contact.
Yeah.
And the last time it was, starting fires.
But this was part of our regular preventive maintenance, so it didn't cost anything.
Well, I don't care what, that part about it, I just want to know why the
Specify.
technician doesn't know how he fixed it. That bothers me.
He's got the magic touch, Pat. You
Secret.
Well,
probably
it's
heard
a
about that
lift,
somewhere.
so it...
FM, right?
And it definitely didn't work. I got in it, and jumped in it with my weight, figured it would move, and it didn't, so that's a little frightening. And then all of a sudden he starts it, so what was wrong? I wouldn't want somebody to get in that lift, we have no idea what was wrong, and all of a sudden it lets go.
And then the only other
Used to get
thing
stuck in the middle.
is just whenever you're ready to go over and work on the RFP for the recycling, we're ready to do that.
We need to put on our agenda as a do now.
Now, I can print them out again, and I can put Tim's comments on them.
Yes, please.
All right, so we can do that next week?
I thought we had,
They on the drive?
weren't a couple
They're on
of
the
us,
drive.
were a couple of us appointed to
Printed
work on that? Maybe I'm not remembering it correctly.
No, I don't think, were there two people going to work on the RFP?
I was going to work on it with Joyce and Tim, and then I was told that Joyce and Tim had it covered.
Maybe that's what I'm remembering.
Okay, in any event,
And then I got another email from John Radigan saying that it looks pretty good that July 22nd and 23rd will be the mediation session.
22nd and 23rd.
Yeah. Remember, but you're having, not just John and Lauren.
Oh,
Has he commented about that?
No,
And have we heard from Lauren on her opinion of the,
no. No, not yet. We're just trying to nail down a date.
well, I think we should hear from her before we get to the mediation date.
when does she come in?
Not until August.
She doesn't come in July at all?
I mean, we can contact her and email her, but as far as updating assessed values and everything, that gets done, will be done in August.
All right. Okay.
Right.
Done. All right, Beth,
Two, call me in the morning.
Fred, you waiting for Peter? You are Peter? Okay, we'll wait. Yeah, we're all finished. We'll wait. I'll take a 5-minute.
they set a specific date to start the bridge, or is it going to open still? When they're going to close the road off?
I don't know. It's a good question for Joyce.
Joyce? Did they set a specific date when they're going to close the bridge off officially yet?
No, they have not. They're still, excuse me, they're, as soon as they get the stanchion joint, it's being fabricated, as soon as that's available,
Good, we're over here at the town hall.
closed signs go up.
We're ready.
And they're going to start working on the Northfield end first.
That's the side with the joint, so makes sense, right?
I just want to know when I should start taking exit 20 instead of 19 when I come home.
Yeah, he's just pulled it downstairs on the way up.
That's good timing.
Catherine, you have a number of possible septic failures on your list, and I was wondering if these were part of the properties that you and Johanna were looking at to begin the process of getting into compliance with the septic line rules.
2 of the areas are within septic projects, so yes. But in the meantime, until they're hooked up, got to inspect. Even an odor. Makes it a pain, but...
And are any of these new investigations, like closing them down type serious?
822.
Okay,
I think I wrote that on there, didn't I?
you did, I just happened to notice it. If they were not to comply with that, we go forward with the next step, really?
Yeah, we cited 147, the nuisance law. So I declared a nuisance, and then we get to collect it as we would taxes, which means if they don't pay us, we own it.
I don't want to own it, but I hope they take care of it.
I think they will. It's to their benefit.
I'm sure they will.
And I think they will.
Give you a good view of Winnisquam.
No beach.
I know.
I don't have any of my lighting.
No? Joyce, do you have the
To be signed and they came.
I don't think I do.
the lighting chart?
This is, those 2 are to be signed and this one is FYI, I think.
Did you already do it?
I did.
They did it up here.
Let me check and see if Peter did it.
Windsor and
Cards?
Mashpee?
You did it?
I did the
Yeah.
cards.
Okay, they go in the other file.
We just said,
I don't know what happened to it. We've got FYI, not the to be signed.
Keep those separate.
So this goes in the FYI, is what
And
you're
have
telling me?
Joyce-
Okay.
notify them
I was spewing things here.
and see
I
if
hate
they
when that
want to,
I hear that. They continue to do.
Other options?
yeah, very similar to what we did with White Rock.
It's moving to Asher. Jason Stock was appointed chairman of the board, and they're looking for a replacement.
Wouldn't they be looking for a board member?
We did with White
Oh, board member,
Well,
Jason.
yeah, but it's,
Process.
oh, 2, okay.
It's a till March, like a short-term thing, but
Yeah. Bring Chan Washburn back?
I would have been on that night.
I don't know what it is.
It's dumped on. Is that one word or 2?
with her, it's dumped on. It's
That's
one word,
okay.
One word.
Catherine,
That's the way she says it.
what's dumped on?
Dumped
Dumped
on.
on.
Oh, there's a few more of those. Keep reading.
Yeah.
Where is it?
Dumpedon.
Where is it?
First line.
First line. There's a couple of lines.
Legally dumped
Or is it,
on.
maybe it's,
Dumped on.
no, maybe it's Dumpedon.
No.
as predicted,
You
spring,
spelled it the way you say it.
as predicted, spring did bring a large amount of trash illegally dumped on woods roads and vacant lots.
Wait,
Dun dun.
Dumped.
that's one word.
Dumped on is...
Dumped
there's no
on is
space
one
between
word.
them.
Oh, that's because of the font. I changed it with this one. Maybe I put the wrong one in there. I did. The wrong one's in there. The
We're
wrong one's
having
in.
fun with this one, though.
Well, that's why I changed the font. And that's all I did. That's Courier.
You need grammar check too, because spell check doesn't catch it when it's spelled correctly, but not the right word.
No, it doesn't. And I did this very quickly.
Okay. So do you have a
Well, we
sale
have
on
one.
tires or what?
We have one.
Lighting.
Oh, form various road
Yes.
signs. I'm sorry.
Do you have the lighting?
I have some. I haven't looked at it because they're picking on my report. Wicked. Insinuating.
Hey, we're ready when you're ready. I think. All right, let's go.
So, I appreciate the chance to speak with selectmen about the lighting situation with our field. And I was unable to be at the planning board meeting when this issue surfaced. And my understanding is that some of the situation has been resolved in terms of the school being very flexible and wanting to work with our neighbor in that scenario, and there being an ongoing conversation. And I think maybe the first thing that I'd like to address is, I believe you're all in receipt of the lighting report from the vendor.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
We have it.
It was in your email, too, with the chart, and over on the right side, showed one that failed. That's one.
Yeah, and so all of our points are in compliance except for one point over on the right-hand side, which is a 0.8 difference in 1 foot candle. And next to that 1 point, there's a white vinyl fence and a backyard light, which also came on during the testing, which was noticed and probably impacted the light reading. I don't know how much, but of all the readings that we did, the multiple readings we did, that was the one that was, the single one that was in non-compliance. Everything else was within what we said. And, but I also know that's not the primary reason why we're here on this one. I mean, I think our lighting vendor's done a great job with what they promised and what they delivered on. My concern is with the neighbor, with, is it okay if I use her name?
Yeah.
Tanis, who I haven't spoken with directly, but been speaking with an intermediary.
There's the two of them.
And we've met with some landscapers and are proposing that we plant two 16 to 18-foot spruce trees that would be in the sight line between her porch and the major light fixture, which is across the field from her home. And I think, from what I can gather, it's not so much the light readings, but it's the actual light, which is right there. So we think this is a good mitigation for it, and I have a couple of items which I just want to provide you so you can see visually what I'm doing here.
Thank you.
And so the first sheet is the Musco lighting diagram, and it shows where we would place those two trees. I took a couple pictures. I'm feeling very technology savvy right now, having brought pictures of where we would plant the trees. And then if you turn 180 degrees, this is what you have. So it's going to be approximately in the gap between the bushes already installed on our property,
So be right between those?
roughly right in between those. It's not an exact fit, but they're also taller. And I think the potential locations are staked out there.
So does a 16-foot tree block the line of sight from her property to those lights, or is that a 3-year from now fix?
So it's pretty close. We took a 16, we took an 18.
put one aside on a porch area to get a generalization. Say, where's our target point, and I place the flags. 16 foot doesn't block that light out in its entirety, but the idea is, say, absorption. As it grows, it's certainly blocked up. We look at how far can we go in heights of trees, and really got a feasibility. So, 16 foot tree, feasible, certainly.
It's nearly an $8,000 expense to put in those 2 trees. So that is what we think the right plan of action is, to work closely with Tanis. The second page is the light readings on the points, and it shows that it's that one point over to the right, which is near her shed. We were on the property measuring it, and that's where also her external light shines down, and there's a white vinyl fence there.
Between the properties, right?
Yes, it's a fence in between the 2 properties. And then the last page shows, again, the existing and the added, the proposed landscape. And functionally, this is a piece where we want to help with our neighbor, which is something I've talked about with the neighbors before this whole facility went in.
Have you had this conversation directly with Tanis? No?
No.
It's just that email that she sent us, and
Yeah, I
then...
haven't apprised her of this plan.
Okay.
And I've attempted to contact Tanis on 2 separate occasions, and I haven't had
Okay.
success in that, and I'm trying to respect her.
Actually, if I could add to that, when I asked about that, Dari was under the impression that you were the intermediary.
Right. At this point, because it was a complaint, the Board of Selectmen should be the intermediary at that point, right. But- Yeah. I didn't know if before that complaint came in, if you had conversations with her with this layout. That's what I was referring to.
No, this layout was established on
After
Monday.
that. Oh, okay. Okay, got
And
it.
honestly, I didn't want to contact her until you guys thought it was a good idea, and I'm trying to respect that.
It sounds like,
Can you show me on here where those 2 trees that you're planting, is that this and that?
Yeah, the 2.
Okay, okay.
how are we going to address the .5 to get that under?
That's over
Could you
this
ask your
way.
question again?
The .5 that it
The number 5.
exceeded.
Point
the,
number 5.
Maximum.
Oh, the 5th point,
Yeah.
which is it's .08.
Yeah.
It's .08 out of compliance.
We've got to draw the line somewhere, so
Yeah.
if it was the light, can you test it again when that light doesn't come on, or?
Yeah, I mean, actually,
Yeah.
I think it's a great question, John. I think that we believe that the planting of those trees will absorb enough light. A
Coming from-
0.08-foot candle is not very much. It's not very much light, so I believe it will be absorbed. It also might be that there might be some slight adjustment we can do to our lights that would mitigate that piece. If you look on the 3rd page, the light that we measured was pretty close to the F in fence, in white vinyl fence. Fred, would you concur?
Yes.
So we believe that the planting of the shrubs, the trees, these aren't shrubs, these are trees, would mitigate that. Would mitigate that because of the way that the angles are.
But those additional trees are only gonna be in line with really one light on that side. What about the light to the right?
Actually,
which isn't directly in front of that house.
This is the light that's bothering Tanis, though, is the one way over here.
Yeah, it's the one in the,
This is the one that directly
Northeastern
comes, if you, over this side actually comes onto this house, these two houses here, but, and they have no problems with it. We've checked with them, and actually, they were at the meeting as well, and they said that they didn't have an additional, this person here, this is, I only identify it as the lawn's never mowed.
Jungle yard.
Jungle yard.
I love it.
No, he said he wasn't bothered by it at all.
Okay. I
but-
just know that it's incredible how much more light there is on these properties when this field went in.
It's a football field with lights.
Well, I know, but there's a comment here from July 15th, 2014. I know I asked it, I remember it. Ms. Dawson asked if adjacent properties would be appropriately shielded from light trespass and nuisance glare. Mr. Collins said yes, said that they would. And before that, I asked if the proposed lights are shielded or downcast. Mr. Collins said that 100% cutoff fixtures do not exist in athletic field lighting, but that the proposed lighting comes as close as possible to 100% cutoff lights. But when you go up to those properties, and I'm not measuring lights, but I know before the football field, I couldn't look in to people's homes and count how many pieces of china there were in the cabinet, but you sure as heck can now.
well, I mean.
So,
we
I'm not a
put in,
light scientist, but
lights, which is a permitted use in the zoning, and we engineered out the light, and we're effectively in compliance with what the engineer designed.
with this,
Yeah.
but you're not in compliance with the statement that was made and promised.
Well,
I don't think, that's
well,
my
Mr.
opinion.
Collins said there's no 100% cutoff fixtures, and we have the.
But when he was asked if they'd be appropriately shielded from light trespass and nuisance glare, after we talked about that the proposed lighting comes as close as possible to 100% cutoff fixtures, he said yes, they would.
Actually, I don't get that from that statement. I get the technology, we're using the best available technology. He didn't guarantee any light spill.
So
Guess the
that,
definition is what is appropriate.
so .5 will be in, because, I mean, we have to draw the line somewhere, is my thought on it, that,
No, I
mean,
agree.
even if it's a little bit over, but it's still a little bit over, and
I
we could probably, it's so
recognize
close, you could probably pull it in, or even maybe take another reading when the light in the garage doesn't pop on, just to verify that.
Well, yeah, I think
So, yeah.
what we would, it's our hope that these trees
We'll just cut that down a little
would
bit.
cut that
yeah.
piece out. And I would like to, be fully in compliance.
Yeah.
We are, I
so
know we're not
close.
there, but we're pretty close.
Yeah.
And actually, the light spillage is less than was engineered.
And,
So-
yeah, in the other areas,
In the
it looks
other
good.
So I agree with you, John. I think we would shoot for 100% compliance.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the thing that I want you guys to know is I have been trying to work very hard and going above and beyond, I believe, to make this work, to make this piece work. It's been my intention since day one. And I just want you guys to understand that spirit.
And that is true, judging from the emails back and forth that we've had with Peter on this. I think at this point, we owe it to our resident to bring this forward and try to see if this is acceptable or if it's going to work or whatever, talk amongst our...
And the other issue is the property that was supposed to have trees planted to shield them. That wasn't done, or I understand deciduous trees were planted there. And that property owner took it upon himself to plant trees, is that what happened?
Which property owner are you referring to?
The other side.
School Street.
Oh, Mr. Jones. So I believe the notes from the previous meeting reflect my statement that I made at all three previous meetings, which was, A, I completely want to mitigate any light spillage, not from the field lights, but from the parking lot. B, Mr. Jones was appraised the day after I got the gift for this field, I explained to him the tennis courts, and that I'd be glad to do some plantings, but I gotta wait until the construction's finished, because I don't want to plant and then rip it up. And so I've had several conversations back and forth with Mr. Jones, both individually and at the meetings, where I expressed those pieces. And he went ahead on his own and planted a row of arborvitae's
Arborvitae's, right.
on his, I believe to be his own property, although that line has not been demarcated closely yet. And we gotta figure that out.
He thinks it's on his property, so, he was shooting for that.
Yeah, and I was pretty sure.
Yeah.
I think, so I think if we're able to build tennis courts, the tennis courts actually have screening on them, so that will darken that property line in addition to the trees. If we get to that.
Was there not a drainage issue with that property?
Yes, there is.
No, there was a drainage issue.
That was when you put, since
Curbing.
the curbing put up, there's not been a drainage issue since then.
Yeah, so.
Oh, good.
Yeah, Jones.
I was unaware of that.
No, the
Right,
curbing
that's
issue the curbing that was installed caused the drain.
good.
That's
Originally.
what I understood.
No, the waters, as a matter of fact, down below where the silt fence let go, and it ended up in the river, at that same time that it came in front of him and washed out where he had the fire pit, and then Tilton School went up, put curbing just above him and down. Am I correct in saying this? Right, with Dennis, exactly.
As a result of last year's crazy rains, we really didn't have anything major to offer, it was just the road itself.
So he brought up an
And so when Howard approached us on it, we fixed that problem. I will say that we occupied that property before Howard did, and that's a very wet basement, even prior to the pieces. So we had experience with that problem.
Well, it's been mitigated now, so.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as he
He brought
identified
up an
the
issue
problem.
that was already solved.
He brought up Tuesday night an issue that was, you're correct, it was already solved, but he wanted the board to know that there was,
At one time.
the football field caused an issue, but it had been resolved.
And we probably disagree with the fact that the football field caused it, just because of our previous experience. But I think the point that you made before about the curbing exacerbating part of the problem, we recognized that pretty quickly, which is why we talked to the road agent and made those repairs.
Because even with the high waters, that is a very wet area, but with the high waters, we've never had a problem in that area with the road until we had the football field. And, also the same year, we had the high waters, too. The rain and a lot of deluge. But when it came down, you could see that it was clearly like a river that came into his property. It wasn't just soaking. I mean, it did a trench under his stone wall.
Yeah, he actually, I walked the property with him,
Yeah.
and there was all sorts of sand
Yeah.
that had come off into his property. So I think in either situation, we
Yeah.
addressed that
Right.
immediately with
Yep. Yeah, that's been addressed. But he did bring it up Tuesday night, though.
I remember that storm.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah, I went up there because I saw the brown stuff going in there, and I pulled over to see where the water was coming through, and it took out the oil pan on my car.
Did it really?
So, yeah. So I had to, it was coming down.
Oh, yeah, it was nasty that night.
You couldn't even see.
Okay. Any questions, any other questions for Peter at this time?
No.
Do you have any questions for us?
Yeah, I just want to clarify that, do you view us as in compliance or out of compliance with the lights at the moment?
I would say out of compliance at the moment because the resident clearly can't enjoy her porch without having it to be a bright, sunny day at 9 o'clock at night, which would be the exact opposite of what she was promised at the planning board when they came and asked to put the lights in. So that's not what her expectations were. So I would say out of compliance for that reason. You know, you have been right from the day one when Tanis has sent us an email complaining about it, trying to follow up and coming up to a resolve. But personally, I believe that the board feels that at this point, I mean, with this picture and plantings that you would like to do, may or may not mitigate the issue, and then maybe the board will decide that you're in compliant. I would say that would be determined. But you can correct me, Catherine, anybody else want to
Just the
jump in?
.18, somehow we got to get that number to, I mean, that's a physical reading that says no. So you can't ignore that. It's probably very simple to fix, and maybe even just taking another reading and saying that when the light was out, it actually, because they use a handheld light meter, so it's so close that, I mean, you might just be able to pull it right in. But that would, I mean, that's the threshold, and kind of would be.
The thing that I guess I'm hearing two things here. One, which I can understand, the science and the readings. I think in my heart, I agree with exactly what you're saying in terms of the neighbor relations. I think the part that I'm concerned about is I have a number of neighbors who are closer, who all don't have a problem with this. And I think what I want to be careful of is if I just have one person in the whole neighborhood who already is, it's $8,000. I guess if I just have one person who's going to keep demanding more and more.
I get that. I get what you're saying. However, Peter, if I owned a house for 30 years and decided to put a porch on my front part of the house so I can sit down and have a glass of wine at 9 o'clock at night, and all of a sudden the Tilton School gets a donation and puts in a football field with lights, and now I'm not able to enjoy what I just spent $45,000 on to enjoy my porch without any bugs. I personally walked her property, and I know I could see my shadow, and I could see even within 20 feet of her porch, I could literally see that she had straws on her table and what color the straws were, and at 9 o'clock at night, I could see my shadow all around. I could see that if people driving by could see exactly the color clothing that she had on.
And I concur. I mean, I agree with that reaction. I think the part that I'm concerned about as in my role is I have one person who I think is being the single decider. And I'm worried about that. At one neighbor out of many. And I want to be respectful of Janice and what her quality of life is. I mean, and I think that's something that's really important to me. But I also want, I think what I'm looking for is I'm looking for a decision other than just one person to dictate compliance or not compliance.
Personally, I think that you're so close to being in technical compliance as to maybe the motion light being off would have made it happen. And you're in compliance. I mean, you followed exactly what the planning board said, and that would make you technically in compliance. Going back to what Catherine said, you promised to mitigate it, and apparently you are. So
I don't agree with Joe, but
I think if you're technically in compliance, you are, and the fact that you want to spend another $8,000 to shield this person's porch, I think is a wonderful thing. And that said, living next to a football field, my grandfather's house was right next to Laconia football field, and you could read your paper on the porch during football games. When I sat at the planning board meeting and heard, yeah, there'll be no spillover of light, I'm thinking to myself, yeah, what football things have you been going to here? I mean, you can see the lights. It's you can see it from the outlet mall. I mean, you can see where it's all lit up in the sky. The football field.
I can see the lights of the outlet mall from my home, but it doesn't affect, there's no light spillage onto my home.
Yep.
If one person in that neighborhood has an issue with those lights, then one person's life is affected negatively from the lights of that football field, and that has a lot of bearing here.
No.
It may just be one person, but, you know, some people don't complain just because they don't think anything will happen. So just because only one is complaining doesn't mean others aren't affected. But
Yeah, I agree with that.
even one person that's negatively affected by these counts.
I believe they can count, and I believe also, though, that in a town situation, I think if that rule existed across everything, we wouldn't get anything done.
And I also think when promises are made, besides the technical data, they should be kept.
I guess I'm not sure about which promises you believe I've broken. I don't know what promise I've broken.
When Nathan stood at the planning board, when he first came to introduce the light in the lighting, I was there. I know he emphatically said that there would be no spillage whatsoever. And no spillage to me means that there are no neighbors going to be affected by the light. And we have a neighbor that's affected by the light. And that's the bottom line. We do have a neighbor that's affected by the light. Are you trying to mitigate that? Absolutely, no problem. But, and I think this is what Catherine's referring to, he gave fact-finding information, research to the board, a decision-making board, to allow or not to allow lighting on that field based on what his information, what information he gave to that board. And they made that decision based on the information he gave. And it really is in opposite, some areas are in opposite of what he said at that meeting. So we have to look at that. And the other night, and on the 23rd when he came, again, he said that he was in compliance, and effectively in compliance and in compliance, my heart of heart says it's two different things. When you're affecting someone by the lightage, and you state time after time that there will be no effectiveness around the neighborhood, and they are, then that's not really a true statement. So we have to fix that. And I realize that your helpfulness in trying to fix that, and I think we're going in the right direction. And I think just talking with Tanis and getting in touch with her, I think we're heading in the right direction. And like John said, that if you do another reading without that, when the light comes on in the garage, I think that .18 is going to change. And it will be, the paperwork will say you're in compliance.
Well, is there an ASTM method for taking light readings?
Yes.
So as long as it's in compliance with that, because otherwise I can manipulate data to say anything I want.
The readings taken are actually through that AST standard.
Okay.
Lighting engineering standard practices and testing.
The meters.
Well, it'll also probably say a distance
Right.
off the ground and what have you.
Right.
There's
Which is what you-
there's a method to certify. Unfortunately, I wasn't given the date when you did the test. I've yet to see it with the lights on, so I have no idea what the impact is to the neighbor. So it's hard for me to say one way or the other at this point.
Pat, I think you raised a great point. I mean, I think there's the technical compliance, and then there's the neighborly compliance. And that's how I've always viewed this situation. And so it's my hope that in discussions with Tanis, that this will address the situation. It is not going to cut all the light piece out of it, but it should make a significant, should make an impact that I think she will be pleased with.
What happens if the bank of lights that's the problem, if you try to angle them down a little bit more than they're currently at? So you'll have less chance of spillage carrying across the road.
I think there's some possibility that might. I think what I would propose, because I'm thinking along the same lines, what I'd like to propose is that it would be great if I could meet with Tanis also whenever we discuss this with her, so I can explain it, and so I can actually meet her. I would actually like that. I don't know if you think that's a good idea. She could look at it, and then we could plant, and then do the readings again to see where we are. And then the vendor's committed to making sure that we're in compliance with what they have here. So if I still have that parent reading, that they're under contract to make the number that they need to be.
This one.
And that would be that third step.
Why is it that altering the pitch of the light or the shield is not an option?
No, we didn't say it wasn't an option.
No, he didn't say.
I know, but every time it's brought up, it's not really, it doesn't really go anywhere. And I've been in a room where it's been brought up 4 or 5 times, but it never really, nobody ever says, okay, we'll do that.
No, it's not a requirement to correct the situation right now. It's an absorption thing, it's an absorption issue, the light radiation absorption issue that we're trying to deal with right now. The white's recognized.
Well, we just heard that might be effective.
Right.
Now we're hearing it's not.
The shielding is not, it's not the glare, it's not the direction of the light, it's the radiation from the light. That's how you do spillage. So if you have things like this, it's the very receptive. If you have this, it's not. So the engineering principles we have to put in place right now, what we're trying to do, we're trying to absorb that radiation spillage. And you do that by using engineering controls. In this case, we can use physical elements to do that. So that would be the first step. And then see if we can target compliance requirements we're trying to meet. Appease the neighbor with something she can see as a visual. It's more attractive.
Appease the neighbor, okay. So you'd rather spend $8,000 on trees than
No, it's not.
attempt to...
No, you don't understand.
It doesn't matter what I'm understanding, it's what I hear over and over again.
But you're not, I don't think you understand what we're saying. The lighting, direction, angle, and shielding, that's already...
Excuse me, I fully understood what you said, but I think it's too bad that people over and over again, when it's mentioned the possibility of changing the angle of the lights of the shield, it's brought up as a possibility. If it's not, then someone should say, no, that's not the problem. Which you did, but, I mean, you did eloquently, but you didn't say that.
It's an alternative that we're not ready, we don't have to address it at that level at this point. So if we need to, we can do anything we have to. And if we need...
Wow, it just came up again.
Shields, we can do that.
Okay.
All right. With the board's permission, I'll get in touch with Tanis and set up a meeting.
That'd be great.
And, okay to invite
Mr.
Peter?
Saliba as well? Yes,
Okay.
please.
All right, we'll try to get a mutual
And
time together,
Answer people.
and then we can...
You don't think I have any answers, Joe?
I noticed you turned around and you were looking real hard at him.
Just passing the buck.
More information is good.
Yeah.
I think that I'll get in touch with her, and probably not this weekend, but probably Monday, and try to link up with you a date and time that we can all meet together, and we'll go forward with it.
Yeah, should I make the move and plant those trees? Or should I wait?
That's a good question. I would wait. Personally, I would wait. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money to do, yeah, and if,
Speculative.
right. So,
The other thing you might try to do is make something out of plywood or something to simulate your trees, then do a lighting test to see what it is. Plywood's probably a lot cheaper than $8,000.
Yeah, but those trees are not going to block that light, it's only going to diffuse it, plywood will block it. It'll put that
I'll
space
take-
in a shadow.
Well, we'll take the shotgun or rifles, we can riddle it with holes if you'd
There
like.
you go.
cut down a tree and just hold it there for a while?
18,
You know, that's-
20-foot top
I think
on
we're
a
getting
pole,
into it here.
There's your trees.
Yeah,
Let's
I mean,
move on.
I think,
But I,
anyway, I would
might-
be, it would be great if I could meet with Tanis, and I'd love to do it sooner rather than later,
Yep.
so I can move that piece forward. And,
Well,
I mean, other alternatives are to put up the black tarp, which I think would not, I think that make more neighbors angry, so.
But is there a type that you could raise it only during events?
well, especially now when speed bumps are going up over there. They'll be stopping and
I don't
looking
know
at
if there's one that
the
can
black top.
somehow collapse down, somehow fold up, or,
I'm sure,
That's what I had
Someone-
suggested originally
or
to,
someone could suggest something like that, I just,
I don't,
I think
Aesthetically,
aesthetically,
yeah.
neighbors.
well, if it's only up during the
Game.
night games and then it's taken back
summer.
down, they're gonna really,
spring, summer. You stop in like October, November, right?
Yeah, the lights really are on in October
yeah.
and in April. It's not,
And then there's no lights.
Well, hopefully the trees will take care of it.
I think
And
so.
Move forward.
trees, fertilize them well, and
They grow a foot a year.
do they?
And so hopefully they'll end up being 25 or 30 feet high. And are there any other questions the selectmen have?
No,
for us?
I will get back to you. I'll try to reach her tonight and then keep going. As soon as we can reach them and set up a day, I'll keep you in the loop on the email. All right?
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank
Peter.
you all
Appreciate
very
it.
much.
Thank you, Beth. Oh, I do have one more question. Did you ever come up with a... You do? Oh, okay. All right.
You'll be in Monday.
Yep. Just bring it to Joyce. That would be great. Thanks.
Okay,
thanks.
Much appreciated.
Thank you.
Have a good holiday.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, moving along.
You know, I was
Chief.
just thinking of the tree in Vest Pocket Park could be donated if they want to take it.
transplant.
Transplant it.
Yeah. Come get it
Just get it out of there. I don't care what they do with it.
if they want it. And then fill the hole back in.
Do they have tree spades big enough to get that one?
Yeah.
I don't know, they'd have
Oh,
to go
yeah.
around the stuff that's in front of it.
Yeah, they have them, the big,
The tree's
huge
been
things that
dying
come in.
since it was planted.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we'll have trouble because they hurt this and they hurt that, trying to get it, and now we're in deeper trouble. Mm-mm. Let's not even suggest that. That's a good suggestion, but let's not suggest
Right?
it.
Kill two birds, one
I know,
stone.
I got it. How you doing? Oh, yeah. Major Crimes, that's a television show.
Really?
Yeah, it's a great one. Love it.
Nice.
I recorded it every week.
Brother-in-law was head of
Major
it.
Crimes, seriously.
My
Used to do
brother-in-law
it.
was head of it years ago in New Hampshire.
Look at
Dave.
Oh, yeah.
Judy's brother-in-law.
What was his last name?
Eastman.
For acceptance from Walmart.
Could we put a big sign over 93 that says, "Don't even bother, because we'll bust you"?
Yes, do you have the to be signed?
I might be able to
I do, but I was
Is
going to
there a
bring
letter
this
from
up.
Walmart?
I didn't see one. And the to be
You
signed?
have the acceptance letter from Walmart to be signed?
Said they need a letter.
No, they need a letter.
Well,
To be signed.
Yeah, it's.
no, there isn't.
I got the
I didn't see
FYI.
one. I just went through it. I didn't see one. It's not here.
Yeah,
We accepted, we made a motion to accept it.
Yeah, but
the corporate actually just needs something saying, one, well, they accept it, and two, we're a nonprofit. So I gave Gail like the template language. So
Well, Gail,
that might be over there.
this one's on you.
Don't throw her under the bus yet.
But anyway, once, I talked to Greg, once they get that, then he can process the check, so. So calls were down this week compared to last week, probably.
Motorcycle, yeah.
It's like a week factored in. 330 calls in the last week.
Why is it down so much?
Bike week.
Yeah, just bike week, really. I mean,
But it's down like 100 calls from the week before.
yeah, it's just, it could be a combination of things. It was just.
People are turning.
It is what it is,
eye.
yeah.
What it is, yeah. We had 6 arrests, and those varied from possession of drugs, willful concealment, DWI, operating after, and some alcohol-related offenses. Major crimes, yesterday we indicted 2 in federal court for a major counterfeit ring. Suspects were out of New York, so that's, for us, that's kind of a milestone that they were federally indicted. To get to that point takes a lot of work. And so kudos to detectives for putting that together. And they also met with the U.S. Attorney on some of the other bigger cases we're working right now, and they're interested in taking those too. So training, we did some firearms quals for some of the officers. What we're going to do is just take people piecemeal down to the range rather than take everyone together. So they started that this week. Detective Keeler was notified he's got to attend another class for the Clan Lab training in August 3rd to the 7th. And Nate does too, but Nate can't go that time, and it actually works out good because I really would have them go one at a time then. Fleet 10A is back in service. It had some code issues, and I think Arthur resolved it with it turned out it was a broken wire, and he had to find that to figure out what it was. 5A, I was told today, is expected to be done by tomorrow. So
Nice, for the weekend.
for the weekend, so I'll let you know.
Who has it?
Omi.
Oh, so they're working tomorrow?
Yeah, they are working tomorrow, so, Nate Morrison, got a lot of oil changes done this week, because I believe he said Arthur was going on vacation, so they did 3A, 3B, 3D, 4A, and Arthur cleared a code in the 3B, which he told Nate he wasn't concerned with. It was either fuel or a catalytic code. Nothing with the building this week. Chris has started to work on the bicycle project. He's got, I think, the majority of the items ordered. His target date, like he presented last week, is still around the 17th of July. And like I said, I've confirmed with both Tanger and Walmart that they're going to make those donations. We just have to get that letter to Walmart for our nonprofit status.
Shall we have a picture session before they? Shall we have a picture session?
With
Oh,
Walmart?
yeah.
When they get all the stuff with
Yeah,
us?
oh, yeah. I think that's a great idea.
Walmart representative, maybe Eric, or whoever Eric wants to send from Tanger.
Yeah.
For that, I would go to Walmart.
I might go to Tanger.
I don't know about that, but...
They're both excited about it, so, and I think Eric said that he thought the check would be in next week, and I think Walmart's just waiting for that letter. We still have Captain Corporal Pennell and Officer Gilman on vacation. No 4th of July events, because we just finished a great Old Home Day with fireworks, and it went out
It was wonderful.
without a hitch. No,
Rain held off.
rain held off.
Told you, Catherine.
We're in the middle of
You're right.
putting together a public safety day with BJ's. Tanger isn't going to do one this year. Usually we do one with Tanger every year. And Eric said they're not doing one this year, but BJ's wants to do one.
What's that involve?
The explorers go down, we take a cruiser down, they might take the bicycles down, just answer public safety questions, show off what we have. They fingerprint kids.
Oh, I was gonna say, is this a kids event?
Oh, yeah, yep. And they talk about, child safety. Sometimes we'll do something with bicycles, and that's still being planned. If they give us a section of the lot, we might do a little rodeo, with the bicycles. We've done that before. So I have to have a meeting with BJ's to see what exactly they want to do and how much room we have.
Will you be doing anything with car seats?
There is a class.
They did that 1 year, a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
with
you have to
this.
get a certification. There's actually a class coming up to get that certification in Keene,
For what?
Car seats.
to inspect them.
I know 2 of mine were.
Yeah, there's actually a class before a police officer can say that's a good.
We should do that.
They didn't like them at all.
Yeah.
We should do that.
I did go out and buy
I
new.
just actually just got an email on that. And I want to see, one, is there room in it, and two, if not, can we host it? So that's sitting on my desk. I met with Arthur, and we agreed on the locations of the speed bumps, and I think he marked it off for dig safe, and he may have already given you this in his report. And then also, he just wanted some language on the no overnight parking for some signs. And then just a couple other things. I attended a meeting, the Governor's Commission on Alcohol and Drugs on last Friday, and that was really good. They talked about the correlation between drugs and DCYF cases, and Lorraine, who's the head of DCYF, was there. The director and the director of CASA was there, and Judge Gordon sits on that commission, and they have a couple of doctors from Dartmouth. It was a really, really good meeting, and they had a lot of brainstorming going together, and I think it was nice that they don't always have chiefs in the audience, so Dave Goldstein and I were there. We were able to answer a couple questions for them. But the next one's in August, and I told them I'd try to make it. So they're looking at it from a high-level view, but I think it's important. The stuff they talked about was great, and just sitting there, I learned some stuff from Lorraine with some of the DCYF cases, and how some of their cases are generated because of addiction, that sort of thing, and what they can do legally and what they can't do, and same thing with CASA. So they're actually going to come to a chief's meeting and talk about that more and roll out some more training to officers on what they can do and not do when it comes to these cases.
Did Corporal Ashburn go to this, or that?
He
this
did.
was- Oh, good.
And then I attended a meeting at the Attorney General's office the other day, and that was really, they're looking about partnering with UNH to do some like public safety forums where it might be at Plymouth State or UNH or Southern New Hampshire University, where people could come and ask law enforcement questions about all the topics going on today, that you see nationally and here in New Hampshire with regards to heroin. So behind the scenes, what is law enforcement doing to get a handle on it? Those kind of big questions that the public might have.
The misinformation out there is astounding to me.
Yeah, so that's what this meeting was about, and so UNH was there, I was there, the chief of Nashua, Dover, and the Attorney General was there, obviously, and a couple other people from around the state that want to see this happen. And so they're just trying to figure out how many, where do you do them, how many people can attend, and who's going to moderate it. UNH has kind of offered to moderate it. And so that was what, I thought it was a great idea, and that's what that meeting was all about. And I think that's it.
I have a question on the Walmart letter.
Yep.
In your report, you're saying Walmart needed a letter for nonprofit status. This letter doesn't talk about our nonprofit status. It says that we're a certified agency recognized by the state of New Hampshire when we were incorporated, and that the police department is authorized by the town to request funding. Don't we actually have a number?
The TN number.
TIN number.
We have a TN number.
I know we haven't,
Yeah. When I-
yes, but don't we have a number that signifies that we are, that they can use for our nonprofit status?
And I
The
gave
TIN
that to
number.
Greg.
You did.
Yeah, so when I wrote that in my report, I was kind of trying to describe this letter.
So this doesn't have to say anything about a nonprofit certified agency?
Yeah, they more
This is
wanted to
okay?
know we're a government agency.
Okay.
That was
I
actually,
just, when I read your letter, I went,
yeah, that was actually, they gave me that language.
oh, okay. Well, that would have been,
Yeah.
Sergeant 2 position. I was trying to think what I was going to bring up. Can you tell me what the proposed wage would be? Yep.
Says it's wetlands, but she...
That's right.
If you can't behave, I'm separating you.
No,
So stop talking during our meeting, period.
That was pretty funny.
no, she didn't use the hammer, so she didn't...
I almost did. I didn't want to break the computer.
Can't separate us. We're starting to look the same.
Yeah. He's gonna get his haircut a little shorter and dye his beard gray. Or I'll dye my
Better
beard
stop
gray.
shaving, too.
Please don't do that.
Say what?
Okay, everybody listen up,
That was
please.
the breakdown that I
His
was...
mother.
That I don't have to.
The...
Okay. Do you have a copy for everyone to know?
Not quite,
You and
apparently.
I can share.
Yes. We don't mind playing together.
I'm sorry. I thought we...
She needs to.
Order on that. I apologize.
Oh, Catherine's.
How many?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5.
Going once, twice.
Okay,
It's fine.
so the supervisor currently makes $30.85.
Yeah, I
Increase it by
gotta stay
5% and round it up to the nearest penny, the rate goes to $32.40 for sergeant's pay. Current weekly earnings for 40 hours is $12.34. Proposed sergeant weekly hours is $12.96, or an increase of $62 per week. The New Hampshire retirement is 26.38% plus Medicare of 1.45, equals a rate of 79. Are you paying attention, or are we just talking to ourselves?
Yes.
You're talking to me. I'm listening.
Man,
I'm waiting on my copy.
I wasn't fooling around
okay.
this time.
My copy hasn't come yet.
Oh, God, she's using the hammer.
All right.
I'm just gonna give my order.
So the difference between a corporal and, it's about $62 a week, between a corporal and a sergeant too, it's about $62 a week.
One straight.
We would take a corporal from the Tilton PD, move them to a Sergeant 2 position. The Sergeant 2 position is now able, it's a non-union position, now able to do IAs, the reports, confidential, do all of that in conjunction with the captain, correct?
Cover the captain in his absence as well, which a corporal couldn't do.
Thank you. And we already spoke with, we have the money in wages to cover from September to December, the difference in this year, from this year, the increase from a corporal to a sergeant, we have the extra money in wages.
Just, so nobody would be promoted to replace the corporal that's...
That's correct.
That's correct.
That's correct.
And it's just corporal to sergeant.
That's correct. So, okay.
Starting to get it.
Starting to get it?
Yes,
All right.
am.
Here we go. Ready? I'm making a motion that we create a Sergeant 2 position for, the rate of pay would be $32.40 per hour, effective September 1, 2015. The Sergeant 2 position will be taken from one of our existing corporals. We'll have an oral board as quickly as you can get done.
Right.
It's a non-union position, and this person can effectively cover for the captain when he's on vacation. There's my motion.
Second.
All of it. Second. Discussion.
Is it hourly or salary?
Hourly.
Hourly.
So, we haven't actually approved the Sergeant 2 job.
Joyce? Get the keys from us. Thank you, Dennis.
Talk about speed bump. I mean,
We haven't actually approved the job description, have we?
Nope.
We've seen a rough draft, tentative draft.
Yeah, we're going to create the position and then approve the job description.
Okay, I just wanted to throw that out there.
Get your ducks in the huddle.
Yeah, that's right. I don't know if that's exactly how I put it.
Go ahead, Catherine.
so,
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
we're creating this position. It is not going to reduce our patrolmen. It's not going to have any effect. Is this position going to have any patrol responsibilities?
The answer to that question in a law enforcement agency is all of us could at any time handle a call, but our primary
Scheduled.
functions are, our primary functions when you're in supervisory ranks are not patrol.
So,
Including corporals.
That's true.
Including corporals, technically.
however, I was told, I'm saying it again, I can't help it. I was told when those supervisory positions were made, they would continue to regularly patrol.
And they do.
I was told that.
I've seen it. I've seen it.
Regularly patrol. That means scheduled.
No.
That doesn't mean
No. They're not
when the
regularly scheduled.
opportunity arises.
They're not in patrol schedule. They're in a supervisor schedule, and they handle patrol calls.
Right, there was.
Right.
That's not the same thing.
Right. That's different from what Catherine is saying.
Right.
Catherine is saying she would like them to be on a patrol schedule and only handle patrol when they're out there.
Why have supervisors? Why don't we just have all patrolmen?
Good question.
That would be a cheaper rate for you.
Good
Thanks,
question. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you.
So you
Thank
want,
you.
well then shouldn't we do the same with highway? Why do we have a public works director?
Okay, so
Have them all the
I don't
same?
mind having a chief or a captain. What I mind is
Okay.
having all
But
of these
keep the subject to the Sergeant 2
administrative
position,
Yes.
please.
figures. So, all right, I'm good. I know where I'm voting.
All right.
You're
Is there
voting
any
in
other
that seat, I
questions
hope.
as part of the discussion on the Sergeant 2 position? Yes, Joyce?
All right, he's using the current rate. There's a new rate. The current rate is now, for corporal, is $31.23.
Oh, so then if you increase 3123 by 5%, it changes all the numbers on the sheet.
What is it? Come on, math
Come on,
teacher.
math guy.
3279. If you want, go up to the 80, make it round.
Show you the current rate? Yes. Maybe see you.
I'll amend my motion to say 3280 per hour
It's
I'll
as of
amend
July
my second.
1st?
July 1st.
as of September 1st. This job
September 1st.
No,
is
the rate increased because of July 1st,
because
right?
of July 1st, correct,
3123.
which was yesterday, right.
Handicap space.
Thank you, Joyce.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you very much, Mr. Allen.
Night, doll.
God, I almost called him Damas.
Okay, I amended my motion.
I'd second.
Okay. you
Amended my
amended my
second.
All right, is there any more discussion on this?
Where's the 5% come from?
In the contract, the corporal is 5% over a patrol person, the sergeant is 5% over a corporal, captain is 5% over, right, hierarchy.
In the house that Jack built.
Okay, hearing no other questions, I will call the vote. All those in favor, say aye.
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 All those opposed? Oh, aye. Unanimous.
So it isn't- it
Go
doesn't-
forward and,
It doesn't affect the patrol whether we go to Sergeant 2 or leave him where he is, right?
Correct.
Has no effect.
But we score on the administrative, and we
Or-
score,
You pick up the.
But we're
administrative.
back to two people handling a two-person job instead of a one-person job, correct?
kind of.
And certain promises were made about efficiency, right?
Yeah, the sergeant is in both roles, so that that spot in the middle, they can do that roll, you get more.
So we'll call him a corporal captain.
You cannot, you have to be
Captain,
careful.
like Lieutenant General.
They can do the role, but not for a sustained period of time, because it's contractual.
Yeah.
So don't answer the question with a yes, because
Excuse me.
you can answer,
This new position is non-contractual, isn't it?
that's correct. But he was just explaining to Catherine
I see.
that the sergeant could take over the corporal roles and not necessarily...
In an emergency or
Only
something.
in emergency,
Yeah,
correct.
Yeah, I can't move
I
to
don't
corporal.
want the wrong message get to Catherine.
Or anybody else, for that matter.
I'll use it.
No, I prefer just Catherine.
Right now. And
Okay.
work our way out.
Any more questions for the chief in a public session?
Yes, just wanted to make sure that you knew that somebody should patrol the town beach this weekend.
40 Lakewood Drive.
We have a
40
town
Lakewood
beach
Drive, we
now.
took by deed.
Just
Dennis has
An hour
come
ago.
back from locking
Well
it up.
said.
40 Lakewood.
That was
The locks have changed, and nobody should be inside that building. If they are, they're trespassing.
If you go Lakewood Drive, go
Straight
right down,
to the
it's
end.
straight right there, right on the water.
It's to the left of the three-story.
And to the left of it, there's another one that looks similar.
No, that one looks worse.
Oh,
I know,
yeah.
it's worse, but they're
You can
both
see through
brown.
the clapboards.
So we need regular patrols,
And
please,
the former owner
A
did,
weekend.
Further?
until further, okay?
the
Next
former
couple
owner
weeks
did
anyway.
ask if they could go in there or go up there, and we did tell them,
It's
No.
quite a ways from downtown, but
Right.
Sure,
Yeah.
here's that.
yeah.
Maybe.
maybe.
Chief, the former owner was in tonight and asked permission if they could go in there or their friend or whatever, and we said very clearly, no, nobody can go on that property because it's now town property, so.
You don't recognize them, they don't belong there.
Are we going to post it, or?
You got two residents on,
no,
right around either side of them that'll let you know if people are
They,
there.
they said they'd be glad to call the police if they saw anybody over there.
So just tell the officers and post it on, during roll call that that is now the
If
town of
Tricia or
Tilton.
Terry.
And
And it's a
Patricia
beautiful
Lane
weekend.
is the president of the association, and
You
Terry
gotta go over and
Nielsen.
enjoy it.
Nielsen.
The good spelling.
Yes,
What's the name of that association?
Tricia Lane.
Lakewood.
It's Lakewood Associated.
So
Lakewood
one's
Drive
IE and
Association.
one's
We could do
EI.
the
And it made
where
one
you
maybe
raise money there.
SDN and one.
That really is,
The Winnie Dip could be.
Mini
could
Winnie Dip.
Mini Winnie Dip. No.
We could have a barbecue
Reason
this
for a
weekend
reason.
on the beach.
we
Probably get a pontoon
in the
boat,
town beach there, so
patrol the water.
Should have seen the look on their
that's why he
face.
said town beach. Okay,
So we officially own it.
all right, is there any more business to come before us in a public session with the chief? And I make a motion that we go into non-public per RSA, no, sit down. RSA 91A:3 personnel, and you have one for personnel,
Just one personnel.
I have one.
and you have one. Okay.
Second.
Roll call vote?
Yes.
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 And we're ready.
Make a motion, we seal the minutes of the non-public as they pertain to personnel permanently. We talked about, right?
Second?
I think so. Second.
All those
I
in
mean, yes.
favor?
Yes.
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 Time. Make a
Ready?
motion. Yeah.
Motion to adjourn.
What's the time, Joe?
Is there someone there, give me a ride home?
Somebody?
8:37,
8:37.
4th of July?
according to the satellite.
Second that?
Oh, you know what?
Yes.
Hold on,
Wasn't it?
we didn't have any selectmen's reports tonight.
I have no report.
I'll save mine for next year. Wait.
Next year, we're gonna hold you to next
The
year.
only thing I
No,
should
no, we
say-
adjourned.
No, we haven't voted. The only thing that I should say is that Monday night, there's a fire committee facilities meeting here at the upstairs in Tilton Town Hall. It's open to the public. Okay, apparently it's in Northfield.
Okay.
Somebody should check. I thought it was here, but, and it's open to the public for anybody who desires to go.
Thank you, Joe.
I call the question?
All those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes.